All right, so when you hear the name Thomas Edison, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's the light bulb, right? But that's just a tiny spark in a much, much bigger story. See, the man they called the Wizard of Menlo Park didn't just invent devices, he basically invented a whole new way to invent.
And this quote, this is pretty much the key to understanding the guy. He wasn't some lone genius getting hit by random bolts of lightning. No, he was a master of a system for turning sheer hard work into inventions that would change history. He wasn't just building gadgets, he was building the future, one painstaking experiment at a time.
So, where did this legendary work ethic even come from? Well, as it turns out, it wasn't born in a lab. His early life was his real apprenticeship, a series of experiences that, honestly, couldn't have prepared him better for a life of non-stop innovation. You gotta look at each of these moments as a building block. His hearing loss? He actually framed it as a tool, something that helped him concentrate, which is such a classic Edison move, turning a weakness into a strength. His time as a telegraph operator? That wasn't just a job. It was a deep dive into the practical, hands-on world of electricity. And that first patent, the vote recorder, it was a total flop. But that flop taught him maybe the most valuable lesson of his career. Only invent things that people actually want to buy.
So you take that relentless drive, and you combine it with this hard-won business sense, and that leads him to his most important creation. And believe me, it wasn't a single device. It was a whole new way of doing things.
In 1876, Edison opens his lab in Menlo Park, New Jersey, and completely changes the game. This was the world's very first industrial research lab, an invention factory. Before this, inventing was mostly a solitary thing, right? A guy tinkering in his shed. Edison turned it into an industry, creating a place where a whole team could work around the clock, just systematically churning out innovations.
And what a factory it was! I mean, he famously wanted this lab stocked with everything. We're talking 8,000 kinds of chemicals, every size of needle, every kind of wire, even hair from humans, horses, and camels. Now, this wasn't some crazy hoarding situation. This was a strategy. It meant his team of researchers never had to stop, never had to wait for a part. They could just keep experimenting, producing results at this incredible, world-changing pace.
And the results, well, they really do speak for themselves. This number, 1,093. That's how many U.S. patents are registered in Edison's name. It's just an astonishing figure, and it's a testament to the incredible power of his collaborative, industrial approach to innovation.
The one invention that really proved his system worked, that made him a global celebrity, was the phonograph. I mean, think about it. To the public, capturing and replaying sound for the very first time, it seemed like pure magic. It's what earned him that nickname, the Wizard of Menlo Park. All of a sudden, that systematic perspiration happening inside his factory looked like sorcery to the rest of the world.
So, with this newfound fame and his invention factory running at full steam, he sets his sights on his biggest challenge yet, lighting up the world. But here's the key. He wasn't just trying to invent a better light bulb. He was building an entire system designed to completely replace the gaslight industry. This was about creating a new world.
And this is where you really see Edison the systems thinker, not just Edison the tinkerer. He totally understood that a brilliant light bulb is useless if you can't plug it in. A generator is useless without a grid to send the power somewhere. So he developed the whole package, the reliable bulb, the power station, and the distribution network. It was a complete, commercially viable system designed to conquer a market. But there was a problem. Edison's system had a major limitation. His direct current, or DC power, could only travel about a mile from the power station. In this little detail, it opened the door for a powerful new rival, and honestly, one of the most famous feuds in the entire history of science.
And boom, just like that, the stage is set for the War of the Currents. You've got George Westinghouse championing alternating current, or AC, which could be sent over huge distances, perfect for electrifying all of America. And on the other side, you have Edison fiercely and very publicly defending his DC system as the safer, better option. The battle for the future of electricity was on.
And this is where we see well, let's just say a less flattering side of Edison, a truly ruthless competitive side. He wasn't just debating the science. He launched a full-on public smear campaign to make AC look evil. He went so far as to publicly electrocute stray animals with AC power to prove how dangerous it was. And he even secretly helped make sure the first electric chair was powered by a Westinghouse AC generator, just to forever link his rival's technology with death.
In the end, though, it wasn't propaganda that decided the winner.
It was the technology. AC's ability to travel long distances was just too big of an advantage for a country as vast as America. The company Edison founded, which became General Electric, eventually had to switch over and embrace AC. But for Edison, this wasn't the end, not by a long shot. It was just the end of a chapter.
He just moved on to the next challenge, because that's what the factory was built for. The invention factory kept humming for decades, applying that same systematic approach to everything from the foundations of the movie industry and better batteries for electric cars, all the way to finding a domestic source for rubber during World War I. That perspiration just never stopped.
So, let's just be really clear about this. We remember him for the light bulb or the phonograph, but Edison's greatest invention wasn't a thing at all. It was the process. It was the very idea that innovation could be an organized, collaborative, industrial pursuit. He didn't just invent gadgets, he invented the blueprint for modern R&D, a system that, in many ways, still powers our world's progress today.
And that legacy leaves us with a really fascinating question, especially for today. He was the brilliant individual who built the collaborative machine. So, as we face these huge challenges, things like climate change and space exploration, where should we be placing our bets? On finding the next lone genius or on building the next great invention factory?